Jake 30M, am a crane operator, and it's a good, stable job. With overtime, I pull in around $95,000 a year. It's honest work, and I'm proud of what I do. 6 months ago, I was engaged to Brianna, 28F. We had been together for about 2 years, and for a long time I thought she was the one. She was beautiful, charming, and initially, seemed to appreciate my hard work and dedication. Brianna, on the other hand, worked part-time at an upscale boutique, earning just enough to cover her personal shopping habits. Her real passion, she claimed, was creating content for social media, fashion hauls, lifestyle vlogs, that sort of thing. Despite pouring hours into it, her influencer career hadn't really taken off. She had a decent following, but it wasn't generating any significant income. Yet, she lived like she was already famous. She expected me to fund her lifestyle, from expensive dinners to designer clothes, and certainly, our increasingly lavish wedding. I had saved for months to buy her dream ring. It was a 2.3-carat diamond, and it cost me 3 months' salary. I proposed on a beautiful hike, a spot that was special to us. She cried, she said yes, and I genuinely felt like the luckiest man alive. We started planning our wedding immediately, a big affair at a country club, something she had always dreamed of. Our relationship, initially filled with laughter, spontaneous adventures, and genuine connection, started to change almost the moment that ring was on her finger. It was subtle at first, then more pronounced. Brianna became consumed with wedding planning, but not the fun, collaborative kind. It was all about appearances, about impressing her friends, about outdoing everyone else. She neglected her part-time job, often calling in sick to attend bridal expos or dress fittings. Her social media content became almost exclusively about her journey to becoming a bride, complete with sponsored posts for things I was secretly paying for. She stopped contributing financially, even to basic household expenses. "Oh, I'm so busy with the wedding, Jake. Can you just cover it this month? I'll pay you back." The paybacks never came. I was footing the bill for everything: rent, groceries, utilities, and all the escalating wedding costs. I was working more overtime, feeling the financial strain, but I told myself it was worth it for our future. The breaking point, the moment everything shifted, came in late April. Brianna came home buzzing with excitement. "Jake. My friend Daniela is having a destination wedding in Cabo in July. We have to go. It's going to be epic." I looked at her, my brow furrowed. "Cabo? Brianna, our wedding is in September. We're already bleeding money with deposits and payments. We can't afford a lavish trip to Cabo right now." She laughed. Not a warm, understanding laugh, but a dismissive, almost contemptuous one. "Oh, come on, Jake. It's just a few $1,000s. You make good money. You can afford it. Don't be so cheap." "Cheap?" I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. "I just spent 3 months' salary on your ring. I'm paying for almost all of our wedding. I'm working overtime to keep us afloat. And you want me to drop thousands more on a vacation right before our own wedding? That's not being cheap, Brianna, that's being financially responsible." Her smile faded, replaced by a cold, hard look. She crossed her arms, her eyes narrowing. "You know, Jake," she sneered, her voice dripping with disdain, "if you're going to be so difficult about this, maybe I should just find someone else. I have plenty of backups waiting, you know. Guys who would love to spoil me and take me to Cabo." The words hung in the air. Plenty of backups waiting. In that moment, everything clicked. The constant demands, the financial irresponsibility, the subtle criticisms, the sudden shift in her personality. It wasn't about love anymore. It was about what I could provide. I was a wallet, a stepping stone to a life she craved, a life that her backups could apparently offer. The illusion shattered. The pain was immense, but so was the clarity. "Nope," I said, my voice quiet, but firm. "You don't." She looked confused, then scoffed again. "Don't what?" "You don't have plenty of backups," I repeated, looking her dead in the eye. "Because you just lost your main one." I walked away, leaving her standing there, stunned. I spent that night on my friend Cole's couch. Cole, 30M, had been my best friend since high school. He'd seen me through thick and thin, and he'd always been wary of Brianna. He'd gently tried to warn me about her spending habits, her entitlement, but I was too blinded by what I thought was love. Now, he just listened, his face grim, as I recounted the conversation. She said, "Plenty of backups, Cole," I said, my voice hollow. "She sees me as disposable." Cole nodded. "She showed you who she is, man. Believe her." "So, what are you going to do?" "I'm going to cut her off," I said, a cold, hard resolve settling in. "Completely. And then I'm going to disappear." Cole had been encouraging me to move in with him for months, saying he had an extra room. I had always put it off, thinking about Brianna. Now, I finally had the motivation. We started formulating a plan. A quiet, systematic withdrawal. The next day, I went to work as usual, acting completely normal. Brianna was still fuming from our argument, giving me the silent treatment. Perfect. While she was at her part-time job, likely scrolling through social media or complaining to her friends, I executed my plan with surgical precision. Cancelled her phone line. Brianna was on my family plan, costing me $85 a month. I called the provider, explained I was removing a line, and cancelled her number. Her phone would be dead by the end of the day. Changed passwords. All our streaming services, Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, HBO Max, were on my accounts. I changed every single password. She would no longer have access to free entertainment. Cancelled her gym membership. She had insisted on a fancy gym membership, costing me $89 a month, but she rarely went. Cancelled. Removed her from car insurance. Her car, though technically hers, was on my insurance policy, saving her a significant amount. I called my insurance company and removed her, increasing her premium by at least $150 a month, and putting her on the hook for it. Cancelled our wedding. This was the biggest, most painful step. I spent hours on the phone with every single vendor. The country club, the caterer, the florist, the photographer, the band. I explained the wedding was off. I fought for every penny of our deposits. Miraculously, I managed to recover about $8,200, enough to cover a few months' rent at a new place and a solid chunk of my emergency fund. I told them the reason was personal, avoiding any public drama for now. Moved out. While she was at work, Cole and I rented a U-Haul. I meticulously packed all my belongings from our apartment. My clothes, my tools, my electronics, my furniture. Everything that was mine. I left behind her clothes, her social media equipment, her wedding magazines, and the expensive ring, which I placed prominently on her pillow. I wanted there to be no doubt. I was gone. By the time Brianna came home from her shift, the apartment was half empty. My side of the closet was bare. My tools were gone. My car was gone. All that remained was her stuff, and the glittering symbol of a broken promise on her pillow. Moving into Cole's spare room felt like an immense weight had been lifted. The silence was deafening, but it was a peaceful silence, free from constant demands and underlying tension. I felt an immense sense of relief, a freedom I hadn't realized I'd lost. The drama, however, was far from over. Brianna's phone calls and texts started immediately. Frantic, then furious. "Jake. What the hell? My phone is off. Where are you? What did you do to the apartment? The wedding? You can't do this to me." She was in full panic mode as her carefully constructed world of freebies and expectations crumbled around her. I ignored every single one. My phone was on silent, tucked away. A few days later, I was at Cole's place, finally starting to relax, when there was a furious pounding on the door. Cole opened it, and there stood Brianna, looking disheveled and enraged. And beside her, a burly, aggressive-looking guy I didn't recognize. This must have been one of her backups. Let's call him Tyler. "Jake!" Brianna shrieked, pointing at me. "You coward! How dare you do this to me?" Tyler stepped forward, puffing out his chest. "Hey, man! What's your problem? You think you can just mess with my girl like that?" He tried to grab my shirt. "I'm a crane operator. I work with heavy machinery. I'm not small, and I'm certainly not afraid of a puffed-up gym bro." I easily deflected his grab, twisted his arm, and in one fluid motion, had him on the ground, his arm pinned behind his back. "Your girl?" I said, my voice calm. "She's not my girl anymore. And she's certainly not yours either, if she's still wearing my engagement ring and living off my money. Now get off my friend's property." Brianna shrieked again, seeing Tyler on the ground. You assaulted him. I'm calling the police. You're going to jail. She pulled out her phone, but Cole, who had been watching, quickly stepped in front of her. Brianna, you need to leave. Now. Or I'm calling the police for trespassing and harassment. And if you try to damage anything, I have cameras. She hesitated, then, seeing the seriousness in Cole's face, she glared at me, helped Tyler up, and they stormed off, defeated. The next few days were a barrage of angry messages from Brianna and her family, accusing me of assault, of ruining her life, of being a monster. I ignored them all. Instead, I went to my lawyer. I filed for a restraining order against Brianna and Tyler, providing detailed documentation of her financial exploitation, her threats, and the confrontation at Cole's place. I included screenshots of her backup's comment, her social media posts, and the dates of my financial cutoffs. In a desperate attempt to gain sympathy and, more importantly, cash, Brianna created a GoFundMe page. The title was something like, "Abandoned Bride Needs Help After Cruel Fiancé Ruined Wedding and Left Her Homeless." She spun a sob story, claiming I had suddenly abandoned her without warning, leaving her destitute. She posted pictures of the half-empty apartment, strategically cropped to make it look like I had taken everything. It blew up. But not in the way she wanted. People who knew us, or who had seen the viral TikTok video of the wedding disaster, which was still making rounds, immediately recognized the fraud. The page was flooded with comments calling her out, linking to the viral video, and exposing her lies. It was reported for fraud by dozens of people, and within 24 hours, the GoFundMe page was taken down. Another spectacular failure. Meanwhile, I focused on rebuilding my life. I picked up extra shifts, enjoyed my newfound financial freedom, and started putting serious money into savings for my own house. The peace of mind was priceless. Months passed. The drama slowly faded. I was thriving. I started going to a local garage to work on my truck, a hobby I loved but hadn't had time for. That's where I met Lexi. Lexi was a mechanic. She was smart, witty, had a fantastic sense of humor, and a strong work ethic. She loved working with her hands, wasn't interested in social media fame, and earned her own money. She was the complete opposite of Brianna, and it was incredibly refreshing. We started dating, slowly, cautiously, and it felt right. She respected me, my work, and my boundaries. Then, a few weeks ago, I got a text. From Brianna. "Jake, I need to talk to you. It's important. I'm pregnant." My heart didn't even skip a beat. I just sighed. Another manipulation attempt. I quickly did the math. The timeline didn't add up. It had been months since we were together, and her relationship with Tyler had been short-lived. I replied, "Brianna, that's impossible. And even if it weren't, I'm not involved in your life anymore. Please stop contacting me." She sent a barrage of angry texts, calling me heartless, a deadbeat, etc. I simply blocked her number. That was the final straw. The absolute, definitive end. I realized, profoundly, that some people only exist in your life to teach you what not to tolerate. My experience with Brianna was a master class in recognizing red flags, setting firm boundaries, and understanding that kindness should never be mistaken for weakness. I had been a backup to her ambition, a meal ticket, and a stepping stone. But I refused to be a victim. Today, I am happier and more financially stable than I have ever been. I'm living in a great apartment, building my savings, and planning for a future that is entirely my own. I'm with Lexi, a woman who is my true partner, someone who values me for who I am, not what I can provide. I've learned the invaluable importance of valuing myself and not allowing anyone to take advantage of my kindness or generosity. My journey from a toxic, draining engagement to a life of independence, peace, and genuine connection has taught me more about love, respect, and self-worth than any textbook ever could. The backup's comment was the straw that broke the camel's back, the moment I chose myself. And it was the best decision I ever made.